It's
Now
now
that the
everyone's
recording
super silent.
now that the recording has begun, we will speak only seriously of serious matters and stay on track. Does anyone have this meeting's minutes? I believe Butts was item 3, subsection 2.
It's definitely not item 9.
There's minutes?
Is it my turn to talk?
It is.
Hi.
Thank you. Please pass the conch.
I think the worst thing I ever learned was it's supposed to be conch, but like, who's ever gonna call it that, right?
Wait,
what?
Anyone from any French or French colony?
It's supposed to be conch, but like, the magic conch is just not going to be the same, you know.
Conky was the robot in Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Who else is hopping in this group here? Let's get Kata in.
I was gonna hop in, but man, the download do be taking a little bit of time.
Okay, well, when you get on, just request in.
Thank you.
Still well, you. I see Corax.
I feel you, Chip.
In this little raidy poo.
30 seconds, we'll start.
Ma'am.
Boy, I tell you, Chip, some days you wake up, you become like a wooden spoon, I'll tell you.
You just got an achievement for being specialized in classic era potion mastery.
Phenomenal. I love that for you.
What a weird achievement to get in 2020.
Like, what? Yeah, is
Listen,
that
sometimes you gotta go back and get those old achievements.
No, it's because they just added it in. They just added those achievements.
This is the thing.
Oh, true?
Yeah, they logged in and got a bunch of achievements for crafting.
I never noticed this, but if you're in the little eye hand portion of the sword, the ground effects underneath you move.
Oh, item. I actually went to Zoldazar, and it's an automatic port to Salathis.
Yeah, I went to do that, but then I realized I haven't done BFA on this character, so I didn't have the portal room. And I was like, darn it.
That's genius.
Yeah, that's how I get there. Usually, if I'm
For
going to
those
do
that-
Onk or anything.
Yeah, there's the BFA and pre-badge time.
It sends you to like
the harbor now.
The harbor instead of inside.
So Dragonflight's going to be the new leveling expansion. That's exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shit, I didn't even think about that.
Shadowlands in World of Warcraft.
No! I just realized that. That is tragic.
Well, why? I mean...
Like, straight to... It's like, you went from leveling to BFA to leveling in Dragonflight. Shadowlands never existed.
Oh, Matt, you gotta cool it with the disenchanting. I'll lose my mind too. Yeah.
All right. If everyone is ready, we can get started.
So normally, we want to have everybody here, but we can definitely get started. And if anyone misses, Chip is so kind, and we'll be putting it up on the community YouTube. As y'all know, Mo is on a little bit of an extended vacation with his spouse, so hope they're having a blast, being safe, having fun. If anyone else is missing from the grouping game and you'd like an invite, we're inside the sword. It's actually a really nice spot to jump off of, so pretty solid. Good call. But yeah, well, I guess we'll get started.
Yeah, so thank you everyone for coming to our... Oh, hello, welcome. Thank you everyone for coming to our Resonant Community and Guild meeting for November the 6th of 2023.
Right.
So yeah, we can get right into it. We've got a little bit of just a couple things on the agenda for tonight. We've got, obviously our appreciation kudos like always. We've got some community event updates, some raid updates, and plans from next year, and our usual sort of open form at the end. So we also have our little slide here if anyone is newer and doesn't know, kind of like what Resonant sort of really means to us. This is kind of a display for that. All right. Yeah, for appreciation kudos, we'd like to take a moment to just sort of, give a chance to anybody who wants to shout out, make any live comments and kudos. We also have our kudos channel, so if you are, not able to speak in voice, you're always welcome to use that. So I'll kind of open the floor here for people to just sort of shout them out.
Yeah, I'm gonna kick it off with the one I put in there the last week actually was big kudos to Vex and Met. Was a carryover conversation from Mythic Plus chat, but they were two guild members in particular that had a lot of people on their top Mythic Plus runs for the season recaps. I also recall seeing Item 9 and PI on there as well as Gante. A lot of you were recycled in everyone's top, people they'd done the most keys with, and just love seeing guildies being consistent playing with each other and being out of all the runs for the season. I know that it wasn't like y'all only did 5 keys for the season. You were just blasting keys all the time.
Plowing through them.
Love to see that.
Is that it? Anybody else? I mean,
shout out to Phil for being a good tour guide and knowing a lot about trees.
Shout out to Item and PI for showing me around the sack.
And shout out to all of them for not inviting me or telling me, even though I'm right there.
I feel bad about that shit. I really legitimately do.
I feel bad too, just a little bit less bad than Item, but I do feel bad.
Wait, what happened?
They all hung out, and they were very close to Chip and didn't think
to be fair,
Told
Chip
me
is
last
45 minutes out
Yeah.
from. It's a little bit of a drive for Chip. And we should have given you advance notice, and I regretfully apologize for that.
It's fine. It's fine.
I've driven 45 minutes to save 20% on a game.
No, I know. It's not far. But it's just
What? Is this a commercial?
I know. I thought you were going to say Geico for a second.
No. Warren Buffett doesn't need the free advertising.
He does not.
Geico?
Shout out to Chip for running the weekly. I will remember what. Thank you. Death roll. Thank you. Shit.
Like an alligator.
I used to know how to speak.
Like an alligator. Go ahead.
I do it for a living now, and I can't do it for everybody.
Literally.
Yeah, can't wait to get some more info about that shortly. I know Chip's got some stuff prepared. Really excited to see what he has there for everyone. I actually want to say a big thanks to everyone who's been willing to flex, helping each other out.
Yes.
I know a lot of people have been running, when we had the time walking master at the time ways, a lot of people were using it to either catch up gear on tunes or using it to level, or even just for fun to try and get those mounts. And seeing everyone come together and fill in roles and fill in groups, it's been pretty nice. Even if there hasn't been a lot of super high level content, everyone's been vibing, doing just casual stuff together. Same thing with Baldur's Gate and non-WoW stuff, having everyone really get into that together. And by the way, I did want to ask all of you, since you're here, if you wanted me to make a dedicated channel for that, as well as a role. It hasn't been put in suggestions and feedback, but I think at this point there's still a lot of people playing it, and if you all are interested in that, definitely let me know and I can set something up so we have a dedicated space for everyone to keep doing that together.
Yeah, it might be good to have a channel where we don't put it all in general and stuff.
Yeah. Well, let me know if y'all think you'll use it. I don't want to add to the channel bloat if it's something you all don't think will be used. We have time for probably 1 or 2 more kudos.
Okay, I got one. Kudos to like the raid team and overall management for planning out like sort of, hey, we're gonna actually stop progression because we kind of met that, but still there's people in the community still doing things. It's great that once it's kind of loosened the schedules a little bit, that we're actually all still here and that we're all still active, and yeah, really appreciate that. When I do jump on, there's still people around. So it's great.
Love to hear it.
For real, it's always great to see people like interacting and hanging out. Like always love seeing people on, and it's great. Like we had people doing keys and stuff, and like running, even in like all into the season. So it's always great to see people helping people catch up and stuff. So kudos to those, like going above and beyond and helping out and just like stopping in. It's always great to see people interactive even when there's like not hyper new content stuff. So appreciate that. Yeah, and then as always, like take a moment to like huge thank to anybody who like donates to the guild bank, like either directly or through like stuff like consumables and stuff, or obviously we have the wonderful death roll events, stuff like that. So you can take part in things like that go to the guild bank. We super appreciate that because it keeps keeps everything flowing. And so huge thank you to everyone who has taken part in those and donated and stuff. Much appreciated. You are seen and appreciated for sure. And we can go on to the next thing. So first of all, obviously we have our community events, so I'll pass it over to Chip.
What up? I'm Chip Rufflicum. Same thing that, we're still doing Death Roll. That's about all I've been able to do recently. I haven't been playing that much, but I still really like connecting with you guys every Monday, 6 p.m. server, 9 p.m. Eastern. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and I appreciate everybody that comes out. And if you haven't been coming, you should try to come. It's really fun. It's only like, we spend like 30 minutes and just shoot the shiz. So it's fun. And yeah, like I said, I'm not really focused on doing anything else at the moment, but if you ever have ideas or things that you want to do, just tag me or DM me. You can DM me at Chip Whitehouse. I think if you just do at Chip, it should come up like, I don't know how that works. I can't remember. When it comes to DM, you can still DM me, right? By just clicking my name. I don't know.
Yes.
Okay. We'll do that. Or tag me and I can figure something out. But yeah, for now, just Death Roll. And then I have the next slide. I have some statistics. Oh no. Okay, there we go. So
look at that.
So yes, this is kind of ugly. Don't come for me. I didn't plan on, I guess, people seeing this, but whatever. This is from Google Sheets. But top champion is Gaunt with 8 freaking wins, and then V-Days coming up behind, as you can see. And then I put the highest to lowest roll, which is just some random like statistics that, as you can see, like this is a roll, the biggest like jump down to the lowest. I would say Dawn has probably the biggest drop. That was a big one. That was that last week? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I have the died first the most, so the person died the first, V-Day, has died the most. The first.
I have to say, it's a talent. It's a talent, truly.
And then Vexic and Rob are second, as you can see. And then
Priest Phobia.
The biggest jump to death, as in went what they were rolling out of and got a 1. So Demo was top with 122, and that happened back in February. And then recently I got the 118. And then I think I'm realizing that I was just with the most consecutive rolls. I think these were all 2s, which makes sense. I should start keeping track of like the highest. I know this is all kind of pointless stuff, but I think it's cool for me.
No, this is cool.
I love these statistics. These really get me going.
Me too. I don't know. I love this stuff. So like, because I feel like we've had a lot of like, one time we had a few 6s, everybody rolled like 1 out of 6. I should keep track of those. But anyways, we had 9 2s in a row one time.
Yeah, that was a nail biter for sure. I remember that. Everyone was like, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no.
That was crazy.
I think it went completely through the whole group of people at least once too.
Yeah, definitely.
It was like multiple times.
Yeah.
And then you can see at the other on the right side, top attendance. I don't really count because I'm there every time, but it's a tie right now between Dawn and Gaunt. And Gaunt has no, you know what, that one. There was a one where Gaunt did show up but then couldn't participate, so it was like technically Gaunt could, but you didn't put the money in, so it doesn't really count. I don't know.
We still wanted to give him credit for showing up.
You did,
but wasn't able to participate.
Yeah. So at the end of the year, if you guys are still tied, I don't know, we'll figure something out. But anyways, then V-Day Vexic, you can see that. So yeah, I'm gonna do this. I haven't missed one. You know, I think we only canceled twice this year. But I plan on continuing to do this, and we'll do it again next year. So if you wanna, we're gonna give out prizes. By the way, can't remember the exact date. I think we're gonna do it like
the first death roll of the new year.
Right. We'll do like
not the week of like New Year's Day.
Because I think wanted to give everyone that Monday is New Year's Day, so we're gonna wait.
Yeah, we wanted to give everyone a chance to spend some time with their families. But that first death roll of the new year, Chip, do you want to explain what we?
So we'll do like a little superlative thing, where everybody who has like top champion, died first, biggest, you know, these little things, best attendance. I'll have little prizes for everybody. You'll see what they are when that comes. So it'll be, make sure to show up. That would be great, especially if you want. But even if you're not there, you'll still get your little prize. But I think it'll be a fun little thing we'll have, and then we'll death roll and start fresh for the new year and clean slate for everybody. So if you want a chance to get in on the fun, we always have a good time. 2024 will be fun. So yeah, I think that's it for me tonight.
Do you happen to have a stat on how much gold has been contributed to the guild bank?
Hold
I think it's on your spreadsheet, but I don't think it's on the slide.
Yeah, hold on. How do I do this? Without...
Hold on. We've been keeping track of so much with this, and council, we've talked about it a couple times, just in like seeing, you know.
Yeah, I should have
really.
That. Here we go. I got that. I just wanted to make sure all my crap didn't show up on the recording. It didn't. Okay.
No, you're good.
So yeah, so total that we have given away, the amount of gold is 5,238,012 gold. 5 million. It's almost
5 million gold.
Huge round of applause for everyone. Yeah.
And then the amount of gold that has been donated to the guild because of death roll is 831,686 gold.
Wow.
Almost 1 million gold. Yeah, has been. Yeah, yes, that was perfect. I don't know. That was like the most important statistic. I can't believe I forgot to include that one. Anyways, I'm glad you mentioned that.
You know, I thought about it, and I knew it was one that you had kept track of for a reason, and this seems like a perfect time to use that.
The recording will see it. You guys can't see it, but I'm putting it right here. Dope, here. Beautiful. Okay. Anyways. Thank you.
Oh yeah, thank you, Chip. Appreciate that. Awesome. And then now we'll turn over to Morio and Item 9 for some raid update.
Alrighty. So with Moku stepping back from raid leading, I'll be taking over on the raid leading front. We've had a ton of fun with our previous raid tiers, especially once I became a lead tactician. With the new changes in place now, Item's going to be taking my place. So welcome everyone, Item, to the raid team of leading.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Moku's done a fantastic job though in the past, working with everyone, getting the raids organized and ready. It's going to be pretty difficult to fill his shoes, but I'm going to try my best so we can easily clear heroic like we've been doing, and of course just have a great time with our community, which is the most important thing. And then our plans for the next tier, me and I are going to kind of bounce around back and forth with this, but the first thing we discussed a decent amount of time even before Item took the role was with loot distribution. So previous tiers, the way we did it, or the way that Moku mainly did it, was certain DPS that were pumping just with, you know, whatever gear we could obtain before the raid. we were considering them for their BIS at the time, just so we can have more damage numbers. Now, fortunately, doing that, it's not getting distributed to everyone. So we're having a lot of issues on heal-intensive fights where we'll just hit a wall, and then it's just repeating runs until we get our healer's gear, which took a lot more time than realistically needed. So with the changes we're doing, we're going to make sure that it's less chaotic, more manageable, and we're going to start to filter the gear properly so that healers will be able to output more and not just to have everything stacked on DPS. Tanks, for the most part, it's very situational because usually if you die, it's a one-shot 90% of the time, and it's just a mechanic that we have to work on. It's not really a gear issue. So that's basically those changes. And then boss explanation, this was a pretty big one. So we're not going to be doing 10-minute fighter reviews like we used to do. We're just going to have key points on the fight that everybody should be aware of. We're going to just call it out real quick. If it's a swirly and nothing's been mentioned about it, just assume it's bad and just avoid it like you normally would in any other circumstance. That's pretty much how we're going to be doing boss explanations now.
And then to go in a little bit further on that point, like a lot of people here are seasoned players of the game. You know that if circles with swirlies coming upwards are a stack mechanic, things without that are not. You avoid those. But one of the things that's recently changed in the game is the ping system, which I kind of want to talk about a little bit too, because I think it's going to be a good tool for more effective and efficient communication in terms of like visual and auditory attention getters, right? Like if in the middle of a poll, if we say, okay, the raid needs to move here, it's very easy now to send a ping that creates an audible notification. The whole raid can see that it stays there for a good 5 to 7 seconds that will tell you where you should be going. So I want to utilize that a lot in the raid, but I also want to come with a caveat that says that we're not going to be, throwing pings everywhere and letting it become like a mess instead of an effective tool for communication. So there may be restrictions at certain times, based on the context of whether or not people outside of raid direction should be using pings or not, or getting a good feel. Since it's a new system, we want to be able to get a good feel of how to most effectively use this tool and not create a hindrance out of it. But that's definitely something we would be utilizing during progression to coordinate group movements on the fly and things like that.
Another thing that me and I discovered too is if you ping a target, like a player or an NPC, it actually follows them. So with tanks specifically, we'll probably have them have macros to where any mechanic where we have to avoid being near the tank, they can press the button. It's going to put a warning sign above their head and it's going to follow them.
Love that.
So it's just an easy visual representation of, hey, don't be near that thing. Versus just trying to figure out where the tank is.
That's freaking amazing.
And then tier changes, Item had a little bit more to discuss about how that's going to be working since he knows a little bit more about all the changes with tier than I do at the moment.
So I did post about this in the raid chat maybe several days ago, something like that, but I'll reiterate just to make sure it's clear and understood. Like Blizzard has changed a lot of different systems in terms of how gear acquisition is going to happen during this tier. It's going to definitely feel slower than last tier, 100%, because you'll be getting less flight stones. They're changing how the sigils, whatever those damn things are called, the crests. There's not going to be fragments anymore. There's going to be crests. There's going to be a lower acquisition of gear in general, and specifically related to tier, there will be a slower acquisition rate for tier that is also deterministic on the raid group size, where every boss that has the potential to drop a tier token, the determination is that for every 5 people you have a 0.25% chance to get a piece of tier. That math is probably wrong and I didn't vocalize that correctly, but essentially what it means is that in order to guarantee at least one tier piece to drop during a raid encounter, you have to have at least 20 people in the raid. That is the only way that you will know for certain that a tier piece will drop. Otherwise, if you have less than that, we may not get tier from raid at all. I mean, it's less than guaranteed. Similarly, the catalyst charges are on a 2-week rotation in terms of when they replenish. So I'd have to look up again whether or not you get a conversion as soon as the season launches. I'm not sure if that's the case, but if it isn't, then the first one that you will be able to get will be 2 weeks from the launch of the raid to convert one piece, and then the next token will be 2 weeks after that, and so on and so forth. So tier distribution will be less frequent, harder to acquire, which kind of artificially prolongs the duration of the tier, which is okay. I guess people weren't necessarily happy with how quickly the gearing process went last year, and how quickly the raids were done. So this will definitely make it feel like it's going to take longer, and it will. So just be aware that if we fall under that 20-man or 20-person threshold, that tier might be slower to get. So something to just keep in the back of your mind.
And then lastly, just a reminder in general, everybody needs to do their most recent campaign quest to be able to access tomorrow's patch for the new zone. And with that, that is a wrap for raid updates.
Yeah, that quest is like 15 minutes tops. You go to like the Onaran Plains on the far beach side, do some stuff, you'll see a cutscene, but you need to have completed that in order to get to the breadcrumb that takes you into the Emerald Dream tomorrow.
That being said, there's not going to be time like there was in the past before raid tomorrow. For everyone to go do LFR or go do, necessarily to go do, whatever you would normally do before raid. So if there's anything that you can plan today ahead of time, getting consumables, getting, anything that you might need for tomorrow, I'd say that'd be a good thing to do.
To clarify on that, the raid and the Mythic Plus season don't drop tomorrow, just the patch, the new zone.
Right.
You won't be able to access the raid until a week from tomorrow,
I was gonna say, that'd
on the
be
14th.
insane.
Oh, did they change that?
No, that was the original intention. They usually stagger the season drop a week after the patch deploys. So tomorrow is just the new zone, the world events, and things like that. You should be able to get gear upgrades through regular mythic dungeons. Will probably be higher item level than... Actually, I'm not sure if that changes either or not. Somebody will have to check. But yeah, no keys for the new season until the 14th, and the raid drops on the 14th.
So right, but it's still important to log in to like do the campaign, like do the quest to make sure you're ready to go, so you can like jump right into raid. If you need to.
Is there still a chance to get KSM, or is that done tonight?
Yes, wait, is it over tonight, or is it a week left?
I'm pretty sure you have the next week.
Okay, yeah.
I'm probably not gonna get it. Well, anyways, all right.
Whatever.
Chip, if you don't have KSM yet, we'll get you KSM. Just log on, 2 keys. We got you.
I basically took a break for this whole season. I think I got like the first 2 to 5 weeks.
Yeah, I really don't have that much left, honestly.
I have like nothing done from this whole past season, so I'll probably be playing catch up this week.
Word, I might join you.
Yeah, so just to wrap us up here, we do mention that we do have still our open call for leadership out. So as we go to the new season, if you are interested in being a tactician or a POG or helping out in any capacity, please do let us know. And we generally like meet either like on a weekly basis or at least chat on a weekly basis. So like if you want to get in on one of those chats, just let us know. And, can bring you in, stuff like that. So
and can I add to this that I feel like a lot of people, at least this is how I felt, that seems like a lot of work. I don't want to do that. It's like any little amount that you would want to like contribute is enough. Like it's not a really complicated, overwhelming thing to be. So if you're like on the fence, I don't know, it's right. Like I'm right now, I've just been coming on Mondays. So anything that you could contribute can help us. So if you think that you're even kind of thinking about it, feel free to talk to any of us. And we're able to work with you, and you can just be a part of helping us. I don't know. So don't be afraid if it's like, oh my god, that's a lot of responsibility. It really does not have to be, and it's not, honestly.
Yeah, for sure. Like, if you want to help in any capacity, we would love to, like talk about that and work that out. So, like, in any way, big or small, we appreciate it. So, do not be do not be afraid to reach out. Which, speaking of, we would always like to mention, and of course we're open for feedback. So like if you want to express anything, privately, we have the forum. You're always welcome to reach out through DMs or reach out to council privately. We also have our feedback channels, and so sort of the feedback input channel that you're always welcome to use. So we really appreciate that. A lot of our greatest improvements have been made through those systems. So thank you for people for using those, and keep that up. And then of course, last but not least, we do have our little open forum now. So if anyone has any questions, concerns, comments, feedback, any last minute kudos, now is the time before we segue into death row here in a second. I mean, I guess just one little kudos I sort of wanted to mention earlier, but didn't really have time, is appreciate, speaking of everyone who has helped in big or small ways. We really appreciate that, and like I said, all those little bits of feedback are super huge, and everyone who has helped out with leadership, especially people who have stepped up recently, we really appreciate that. Moke has been huge. He's been working several positions for a long time, so we really appreciate him. So glad he's taken a well needed vacation, but I hope he gets all of our regards and appreciation when he watches the VOD back later. And appreciate everyone who stepped up.
Can we get a soundboard round of applause for the time and effort he's put into?
Holy shit.
Let some quacks and claps in chat.
Dog applause. It's my favorite thing.
Thank you, Mo.
We love you.
Yes, holy
it's
shit.
A quack for me. The space stuff.
On your knees.
Oh goodness. Yeah, I know it's strange having him be on vacation right now during this transition, but it's just a testament to, him being able to feel confident in the hands that he's leaving the raid and the community, to be able to relax for once. So, really excited for this next tier. Can't wait to see what happens, what we do. And really appreciate Morio and Item 9 for everything they've been doing on the back end to get us ready for that. It's not an easy task, and they've taken it on with a lot of patience, and you just love to see people in the community stepping up and taking on that next step to help things keep going the Resonant way.
I promise that I will be the best DBM voice pack that you've ever used.
Oh my gosh.
Welcome to the team. We appreciate you.
I do have a question.
Give me your best stack.
Yes, yeah, what's up?
What is the raid comp looking like this tier?
Oh, thank you for asking that, actually. That's a good question. We're probably going to be sending out feelers very soon to get a idea of what everybody intends to play, whether they're going to be returning on their mains or if they plan to role switch for the beginning of the tier, because ideally that is the best time to do it. If you're not set on the character that you intend to play, if you're not going to bring the main that you raided with last tier, now's the best time to do it as compared to several weeks within the progression tier. That's not really conducive to the effectiveness of a raid group. So if you do intend to explore playing something else, now is the time to consider that. But yeah, we'll probably be sending out some type of poll or something to get a gauge of what people intend on playing. Because I know Moku, for example, wanted to probably bring the hunter, and because of that the tank spot was available, which I just stepped into. But if there's other people who I guess if you're enjoying your warrior met and you wanted to consider tanking, that's something that we could discuss. But also I kind of wanted to get an idea of certain what I consider to be necessities, like for example, demon hunters in the raid group giving the magic damage increase, and monks as well. Like I'm highly considering playing a monk if we don't have that representation in the raid group. So we are still getting an idea of who's going to do what, and very soon I believe that we should be collecting information about people's intentions. So if you're planning on raiding, if you're a trial or raider or have submitted an application, keep an eye out for that, so that we can get an idea of what's going to be happening and making adjustments as we can.
You answered like most of the questions. The other half is that all that geocrafting. I have a couple of cauldrons, but I have the bootleg ones though. I still haven't got the good recipe.
What was the question?
No, you answered the first question with your summary. It's just that all that geocrafting I did, I was able to stock up on cauldrons, but I still haven't gotten the recipe for the good cauldron. So I've got like the bootleg cauldron.
No worries. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, it would still help, even like, because I know there's going to be different, like maybe not across the board crafting recipes and updated stuff. I know there's new potions and other things, but that stuff can still be used up until we get new. Is that on your warrior?
The cauldron is bind on account.
Oh, bind on account, so it doesn't really matter.
So I just haven't gotten I've got the flask, whatever they call it now, recipe, and then the old potions, but not the new potion recipe.
Cool. Awesome. Anything else? Awesome. Well, thank you everyone for coming. Really appreciate you all. We will. Sounds like we can segue over into death roll. Appreciate it. Love you all. Thank you for coming. Thank you everyone who watched the VOD. We appreciate you all.
Have fun in Mexico, Moku.
Yes.
Be safe.
We love you.
Bye, Moku.
And the rest of people. Yeah. Awesome.
Thank you,
cool.
everybody.